Thank you for joining us now at 4:30. I'm Joy Redmond in for Joe and Kim. On assignment today as the Bluff City grieves the loss of a historic downtown building, Clayborn Temple. More than a religious structure, Clayborn Temple is hailed as an epicenter during the civil rights movement. To break it down, the significance of this building, Joyce Peterson and Kim Clark joining us live now. Ladies, good afternoon.
As people get off of work, we're seeing more of them show up here downtown to take a look at what is left of the historic Clayborn Temple. And someone who just approached the table and would be wonderful to talk to right now is Memphis Mayor Paul Young. We certainly want to know what you know about the fire investigation and then also what you know about, we're hearing efforts already to rebuild this temple. So thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you for having me. Obviously, this is an important landmark in our community and really nationwide. It's been the epicenter of the civil rights movement, and we know that those I am a man signs that have become iconic across the world were made right here in this building. And so we're all heartbroken to see the structure in its form right now. But as I talked to the executive director, Anasa Troutman, earlier, and I told her that what this place represents is bigger than a building. And it's a mission that will continue, and we'll figure out what the future of the structure is. It appears to be that there are some of the elements that can be preserved, and so we'll get with the architects and engineers and go through that over the next couple of days. But right now, we just want to make sure that we support the community that has invested so much into this structure. Even in my previous role as Director of Housing and Community Development, I had an opportunity to work on this project, and there have been millions of dollars that have been put into its preservation. And so we hate to see it as it is today, but I do believe that we will rise above it over time.
I know that in your statement you said restore, rebuild, and remember.
Yeah.
And restoring and rebuilding is top of mind for a lot of people right now. But in the current climate, federal funds are hard to come by for certain projects. Do you have any ideas where this funding might come from for a project like this again?
No, not at this moment, but you know, Memphis is a creative, resilient community. We figured out how to move packages around the world in 24 hours. We started the first self-service grocery store. We were able to renovate Tom Lee Park and see a $65 million renovation there. There are creative approaches to doing projects like this, and I know that we have enough people in this community that are committed to preserving the legacy such that we will figure this out.
I saw you checking in with Memphis Fire, which is just outside the frame here where we're talking to you. Bring us up to speed on the investigation. What do we know about how this fire started at 1:30 this morning?
Well, it's still very, very early, and we don't have any confirmations with regards to how it began. They're still doing their research. I know they're working with MPD. I think the ATF has been here as well. So they're working to get to the root cause of what started the fire, and we'll get to that in the next couple of days.
It was boarded up, though. This was not a building that was being used. It was under renovation and boarded up. So there should not have been vagrants in there. There should not have been easy access for anyone from the public.
Or much in the way of electricity, for that matter.
There probably was electricity, but yeah, we don't know what started it. It was a building that is under construction, and there shouldn't have been anybody in there, but we know that where there's a will, there's a way. Somebody could get in. So we just have to see what the investigation turns out.
This is an integral part of Memphis identity.
Yeah, no question.
What do you say to Memphians out there today, and Shelby, people in general who are seeing this and feeling sad, somber?
Yeah, it's sad. It's heartbreaking. And I think we have to sit in that for a moment, but we can't sit there too long. We have to realize that there's still a lot of work that's necessary to ensure that we remember what this represents. Right adjacent to the building, we have I Am a Man Plaza, which was built in honor of the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's loss from this community.
And not impacted by the fire.
And not impacted
the debris
by the fire.
fell that way and not that against where the monument is.
Yeah, and there are still walls that are standing. The tower is still standing. And so I think that there will be some architectural elements to build around. And we'll work with the designers to figure out what that looks like. But I think people should be encouraged that we are all committed as a community to making sure that this history is preserved.
Little Birdie said Congressman Steve Cohen might already be working something up the flagpole. What do you know about that?
I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm excited to hear that Congressman Cohen has always been deeply committed to this community. I think he had already identified federal funds to go into this project in its previous form, and so I would not be surprised and certainly would welcome his support.
Why was the renovation taking so long? It hard started 2018, 2019, but here we are 6 years later and it was still underway, and not all of the funds needed had been raised yet. What was the difficulty there?
Well, I mean, these kinds of projects are complex. They're difficult, and you do a lot of what they call funding braiding, where you're putting together federal funds with local funds, with philanthropic funds, and different funds have different deadlines. And, you know, given the work that I've done in the past, this is not uncommon to see a project like this take many years to get going.
Spoken like a city planner.
Definitely.
Right.
I've heard this place referenced to being like Memphis's Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what happened with that church, a couple of years ago, and I think it just finished a couple of months ago. They finished with the renovation, and so we know that we've seen projects like this across the world, and this site will rise again.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Young.
Thank you.
Mayor Young.
Memphis Mayor Paul Young with